Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ronnie. If you haven't been here before, I am a design professor slash senior designer slash design brand agency owner, and I'm uploading videos to give you guys a little bit of education, edutainment, all of the things so we can make something beautiful together. I want to go ahead and start by apologizing because honestly life started to life with me. Being the beginning of the semester, I'm a professor, I also work full-time, I also have an agency, like things got crazy. So today's tutorial is not going to be long and drawn out. It's going to be something quick, easy, and fun, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. I wanted to do a little mini tutorial because I've been seeing this design or type of design all over the internet. I did it a couple times on my Instagram, like little short videos, but I wanted to do a thorough tutorial for you here. So what it is basically like inflated text. So it's a text effect, right? So we see it on albums. We're seeing it a lot in advertising, like Alexander Wang used it for something like this. And then we have a couple different examples floating around the internet like this. But the reason why I love this effect so much is it's super simple. If you're an Adobe Illustrator user, then you know. It's just something that's very, very simple to do, impactful, doesn't take a lot of work or anything like that. And I'm teaching a typography class this semester, so the text really does speak for itself. So I'm gonna move over here to the board. I went ahead and I found a great background for us. I'm thinking that we're just going to play around with the word galaxy. You're not going to be able to see this because it is off of the board, and I work a lot with trim view because honestly I like to see how things are going to look once it's exported. So I rarely have my artboard set on something that's not trim view, if that makes sense. So I'm going to arrange these letters. I cheated a little bit because I already had, a text in mind. This one's called Neutronic. To be honest, I don't know where it came from. I simply fell in love with it right before starting this video, so I just wanted to stick with it. But one thing I don't like is how harsh the corners are, and I'm an advocate for editing text to make it do what you want it to do. So I just want to lay this out in a fun, playful way first. Wham. And I'm going to make it white so you guys can see. So a lot of the times with text and typography, this image is super blurry. I did not zoom in, but for the sake, we're just going to keep pushing through. It's not really high res, but whatever. You'll find that you can edit. You don't have to really stick with what you're given. I tell my students that all the time. Like, you can find a good font and then edit it to do what you want it to do and customize it. And this also helps with like logos, brand identity. You have to edit the text anyways, because if you send it to trademarking for a client and you didn't do anything to it, I guarantee you it's going to get kicked back, and nobody wants those problems. So I'm going to go ahead and just create some outlines. I don't want to make that much of a change. Honestly, I like it as is for the sake of this little tutorial, but I just want rounded. I want it to be rounder. That did nothing, but maybe it did something. It did a little something, but there we go. Like, I wanted a drastic change, and it won't do it for the A. I wonder if it's because we have 2 anchor points here, so I have to be specific. Just want to go in. Okay, so I had to speed that up a little bit so you didn't have to suffer. It took me a little bit longer than possible, but the ironic part of this is that probably took longer than this whole process is going to take. So I am not very satisfied with how spaced those were, like the spacing, how that was going. So I wanted to edit that. Maybe play with this a little bit. Okay, so now that that is, just it's a feeling, like the laying out of certain elements, like if you've been designing for a minute, it's not usually like a standard, it's just like a feeling sometimes. And I'm not really feeling that. I'm gonna have to be satisfied with that. Okay. So I know I want the base of this to be like a yellow or orange to kind of go with that background. And really all you're going to do is you're going to go up to the type, oh nope, it's not there anymore. It's effect, 3D and materials, extrude and bevel. I already had it out here. And the option you're going to choose is inflate. And you see it already did half the work. So there are some settings here. So some things are already preset. You can expand the depth of the letters here. And it gives it like this nice cottony vibe. But really, I don't want it to be like that. Like that was a lot. And my computer is really slow. Before anyone comes for me, I have to delete a lot of stuff, and I went ahead and purchased like a very low memory and RAM processing iMac when I got this a few years ago, and I know I need to upgrade it. But so I'm gonna leave the depth at 38. Materials, it can be set at the default. We're gonna increase the metallic though of this one. I don't want it that. That's a little crazy. It's going to look like gold. I don't want it to look like gold. You can kind of play with it, to be honest. All right, and the most impactful place that you're going to play with is the lighting. So right now we only have one lighting source, and this is really important because of the fact that we're going to add an additional, a few lighting sources to make it a little fun and play with color. So the first color is going to be white. You're going to hit this little icon here in the corner and add a light source. You can double click it, and then we're going to change the color of this source to like a hot pink. And you can see it changed like the entire vibe of that one. Now, where did it put? There we go. So you can kind of play with where you want it to be. Of course, kind of next to each other because you don't want the lighting sources all over the place. I'm going to add one more. And I want this one to be like a orange. Couple more settings. You can change the intensity of the lighting source. Change the ambient lighting intensity here as well. If you want, you don't really have to. I'm going to turn it down because I think I turned it up a little bit too much. And I'm not going to turn on shadows for this because it's floating in space, but I want to show you what it looked like if we did do shadows. Super dark. But if it's flat lay and you didn't like create the text going different ways and shapes and forms, it will look really good. So I'm going to turn that off for the sake of this project. And then all you really have to do is click this little button at the top right, ray tracing and render, and that will wrap it up. I'm going to speed this up because my computer is going to take a little bit of a minute. And there we have it. So we have something beautiful and shiny, and ultimately, like, it really only took like 5 seconds if it wasn't for the setup. I hope this video was helpful. Again, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and await our next branding project.